proceed with the points that we need to discuss.
It's a good thing that you have the points, don't you, Anya?
Yes, I do. I came fully loaded.
I came very prepared. I read them all.
Yeah. Let me share this on the chat box too.
Yes.
Where?
Hello, Boo.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm here. I was just silent.
Why are you silent?
I was reading the chat. Take us through it, so we can have a summary. Like, what do you think while we're waiting?
Where I read the points of today are, just so that we can make sure that we cover that.
Yep. I will post the agenda.
Nice.
I'll post it in the event chat so that we have an idea what we're talking about today.
In the chat?
Yep. In the event chat. Done,
Yeah.
and I will keep, oh my God, Sia, your fakes are literally making us crazy. I remember when you said K50s over here and with all those crazy screenshots. Okay, so I think we will start. Zuntan, you can start the recording. Hello.
Why does Grinch have purple, blue, pink colors on the name?
Oh, we added Nitro roles to the Discord. Everybody gets very shiny, very colorful roles.
Grinch, that works for you.
Thanks.
Yes, Theo, it will be recorded. Zuntun is recording it. Once the event is over and he uploads it on his YouTube video, we'll share the link with you. Currently, you can also actually invite it on your WC or your Alliance members and, ask them to hear in. But T, I'll give you the role. Okay. So, first of all, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you guys are. We will be sharing some stuff that we do in our alliance. We are 1096 server alliance, and today we will be sharing some Evony tips and tricks. And I hope you guys have fun with it. If you have any questions, ask us in the chat. Later, when we are done with elaboration of our points, we will ask for members to come up and ask their questions selectively if you guys want. So I will
Whoops, sorry.
What happened? Anya?
I think Anya
Sneezed and then she was gone.
Yep.
She's still here, but she's just not talking.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure where she left it, but I think we still need to continue.
I'll get started then. Okay, so
What, sorry?
Okay, stop.
let's just get started then. She'll come back. How about server
Yeah.
consolidation? An easy topic.
Well, look, guys. Anya posted 10 items in the agenda, and like a true fuck around, find out team, we will probably not cover any of them. We'll definitely try. I guess what I can start with is a little bit of a context. So we are a team in C4. We've been doing pretty well. We've had a few 7 spots, once a 3rd spot, and a couple of times now we were 17th in Chalon the last 2 rounds, losing in that 5th round. That hurt a little bit. We are a team that predominantly grows with the server. So we don't have actually a bubble burn. We have an NAP. So we've not really been developing just a team. We've been developing the server as well, because we also have a couple more active alliances in the server, which for the most part, we've been actually pretty peaceful and collaborative with, and helping each other know or learn what we can. As a team, we're pretty social, I would say. I don't know how others would describe us, but we are pretty social. We also are a team that likes to fuck around a lot. So that does mean that a lot of times when people are focusing on a win, we're actually focusing on just fire and burning stuff. Because to be honest, I really hate a lot of these teams that sit in a battlefield, cocoon themselves with reinforcements, and just stay there for 2 hours. Because at a high level, you have to remember it's a game on your phone in your 2 free hours of your life. So we're a little bit more of a team that at least half of the times does decide to fuck around a little bit more and doesn't care about whether a win will come with it. As a,
Right.
as a, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of everyone that says I'd rather go for a score that is 1 million and lose by 200K, but at least have fun with it and take no troops with us. So that's kind of the context of the team. We are 3 years now in as a server, and we've only had 2 civil wars. Really, one that was a little bit of a persistent one, and it's just the early days when we had some shitty people from servers that are now gone that had a little bit of a bad time. And one of the topics that I guess Anya wanted to cover is how did we overcome the civil war, which, to be
Yes,
honest,
our first point is server consolidation. How we
server
did it.
consolidation. Well, we've never really merged as a server. So what happened is, naturally, by people wanting to fight in bigger battles, or to be able to experience throne wars, or to basically have the ability to join a team that has 60K scores in Pans, Emirs, or Hydras. That's kind of happens naturally. Of course, there's also the other people that like to play the game in a more casual, social manner and want to try to go things slow, which is a lot of the rest of the server, which is still fine. And that's why we don't have every possible PvP player in the server, but for the most part, we have, I think, most of the big players at least in the server. How it
Oh, I
consolidated?
think we have.
I guess it consolidated
Yeah.
really after the first 2 times we had to defend the throne, because people realized how really fun it was. So most of the big people joined on the same team. And I think it was about 2.5 years ago that this happened. And since then, the team has just been growing and growing, and nothing more than that. We've been both lucky and unlucky. We've never had a merger, so we don't really know, what it looks like to have a sudden influx of big teams coming in for the bad or the good. So yeah, in terms of server consolidation, I guess that's the thing. We've been just a consistent team that has high scores on bossing, and just a team that a lot of the time likes to have fun. Am I speaking to myself, or?
No.
You
There was
guys-
there was a question from uh, a lady. How do you get your teammates to be consistent with showing up for battlefield and focus on the team goals?
Who wants to take that one? Izzy?
Well, yeah, I think I can chip in. The first thing is, obviously you have to have a good team with people that are interested in the same goals and that wants to win and play the game, and then you have to yell very hard at them to show up. No, just kidding. Well, but if you have the right team and the right people, they will. And if they not only have the same goals, but one thing that we value very much in Uno is that we like to have fun. And if the battlefields are fun, people will naturally show up. So you should look for that in a team and in an alliance. That's my 2 cents on this one.
Yes. Never forget it's a game. Of course, we try to win, but we also have fun when we lose, actually. So the battlefield should be relaxed. Even if you're concentrated and people are shouted by easy, we don't take it the wrong way. We know how he is, and we need it. It's good. It's fun anyways every time. So that's the most important thing. And of course, organization is the background because people have a busy life. Everybody has a busy life. So we having, thanks Anya, a nice way of setting up our appointments for the battlefield, so you can join very early on. And then we have people who are reminding who cannot perhaps join Discord inside the game, of course. So they're rallied up, and then communication takes over, and we try to have a full battlefield every time. BOC usually we have to leave people out because it's only 20 people and mostly more people want to show up. So we are lucky that we, as Piso said, it's also luck, of course, that the right people are in a team and that they agree and get along. It's not always the case, of course.
Right. Our second point is how to overcome civil war and build a harmonious server together, and how we did it.
What? Sorry.
How did we overcome the civil war on our server and build a
So
harmonious server?
the civil war, I think, and I probably speak on both sides. I think we just got sick of it. I think it got to a point where, from our point of view, we were too big to have a war with anyone, and on their point, we were too big to have a war with anyone. so, so it was kind of like a pointless exercise that after a point we were just exchanging words with each other because they were unbubbled, we were not hitting, we were unbubbled, they were not hitting. So at some point we just called it a marriage, not a civil war anymore.
Let's just do it. Come on, hit them.
And
Yeah.
Evie, as always, is the very calmest head and very diplomatic head. And same goes with Boo. Her diplomacy skills are amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's say we were tired of the long discussions on end. So we said, guys, come over, join us instead of fight us, and that's what they did. And since then, our opponents are now our teammates. That was a good outcome.
Yeah, and it was a really good outcome because we didn't actually destroy them that much in the sense that, I mean, sure, a couple of zeros, but it wasn't like that. These stories that we're hearing where people are like battling it for like years and getting zeros all the time and consistently fighting with each other. No, it was like a few zeros here and there after one big sweep that we did in the beginning, to start basically the war. We started it, by the way. The actual fires started by us.
Yeah. Well, the great thing is today the people we've fought with are in our team, and we are both sides on the same team now, and stronger than we were if we were separated from that point. So it's great. It worked out very well, and we have an app server, and everyone can grow together now.
Yeah, not only that, I think we even have some of the people that stayed in the opponent team. We have them in our telegrams and our discords, and we chat normally and casually now, and even help each other. So, if anything, the relationship as a server grew better.
Yes. It certainly built trust up, which before was a little bit of distrust because they saw us as the big bad guys. But since We
I
invited
mean,
we invited some of them to join our alliance, like for visits. So they were like a couple of weeks with us, and we were bantering and having fun with them and helping them and giving them, I don't know, help with their build and everything. And so when they went, they weren't talking so bad about us anymore. And word went around, and then other people came. It was a slow process, but it worked.
yeah. I mean, there is still a big bad guy, that green misanthrope that
Oh well.
we are used to. but, but, but I think people are accustomed to him by now. I don't think that anyone holds any grudges.
Yeah,
No.
and that's why we have such good monster scores. I'll add our band scores here. The same goes with our Ymir scores. And I think there was a question that Jake does, that how do you encourage your teammates to regularly spawn or search for event bosses during their rally cards during Ymir and ban?
So that's one of the things that I'm happily discussing with anyone who asks about the scores. And to be honest, we're not even like fully optimizing things because, Evony, so you don't really want to be in that top 1 or top 1.1% because it's easy to spot you. But I think we spawn between maybe 100 and 150 accounts. So 10 bosses a day, that's 1,000 to 1,500 bosses. If anything, we do between 15 to 1,800, 1,500 to 1,800 rallies a day in any given day, irrespective of the spawn rate, because we now summon basically about 70-80% of what we kill, maybe more, because we also know that a lot of the summons that we use, other teams take, which is fine because we just try to summon as many as we can so that we don't have to spend too much time and energy in trying to optimize everything to the perfect and putting them all in a corner or doing shit that don't matter anyway. So to be honest, one of the ways that I also told people that are in new servers that are fighting for bosses to find a way to resolve it. It's so cheap now because with $10 they can easily summon themselves those 10 bosses per day. That is in a whole month there is a given amount of a lot of bosses now. So if you have a team of 50 and you summon your own bosses, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
So you now don't actually have to fight with another alliance for bosses. You just need to be a little bit of a more of a distance between them. Let's say 300 kilometers. And if you are 3 teams, you can do, the equivalent of a triangle with 300 kilometers from each other. And you should be fine because you can all summon your own bosses. And if you have 50, 60 people on the rally card, it's wonderful. You don't have to worry about the spawn rates of the server or, which team is doing what rallies. You can just summon your own bosses, start the rallies right away, and you have the advantage already. The only thing that, of course, we had to establish with people is some pretty common sense stuff like bossing rules. Like, for example, you don't send early, you don't use March speeds, because if you start doing stuff like that, then it's where agitation comes and where people start, being a little bit more, hey, I just summoned it. I just started a rally. How the fuck did you take it from me? So that's kind of where it starts becoming a problem. But if you all play by the same rules, you start a rally, the moment you summon it, you'll have the advantage, you'll take the boss. It's within 150 kilometers. It's impossible for somebody else to get it from you unless they summoned it as soon as you summoned it. So from my point of view, I also told a lot of people that were fighting for bosses that you now can do it. Like, for the amount of 100 accounts having a $10 rally card a month, I think you can void entire wars that are happening in your server. But that's me, who is a little bit more of a common sense kind of guy, instead of having to button down.
Right. So our next point is focusing on free to play and low spend keeps to bring them par to rally keeps. And this is a very important one because the most important thing is to bring those who do not spend a lot or who are like F2P, because everything matters for them because they are not going to coin it in that way. So it's, everything that they have, the events, how to capitalize on that. It's an important topic.
Sorry,
Very
I didn't hear
important.
it.
So Easy should talk. He's the most important
Yes.
person.
Yeah, well, we
About
try to help everyone develop. Besides having good rallies to fuel our development, we also help every player with slides and spreadsheets. Well, we have a lot of spreadsheets. We have Sear in our team. She helps a lot. And we have Bezo, who is our mechanic, and he's been talking a lot here, knows the game upside down. So, of course, there's some things that only money can get in Evony, but we are not a big spending alliance. And we do things very well with what we have, with the team we have. And I'm very grateful for the people that help. And we have achieved a lot without coining a lot. So everyone can do that too.
Exactly. And the most important thing is to capitalize on small events. For example, when there is RSS consumption, right? You don't do any RSS consumption during other events. When it starts, you do, oh, whatever, 30 billion ish if you get those resources, and then you get the stamina from them, and that is how you capitalize. You do not refine your gear until you have a refining event. You don't do then you don't spend your scrolls, ma scrolls, other than there's an event. And then we have special spreadsheets that Seer makes for us, specifically which links the best events to spend on. For example, if anybody is suffering from low stamina, right? So the best thing to do is the shopping spree, which is $20 for gems, and then you can convert it into black market into stamina, because that's the one thing that mostly concerns the free to play players and those who spend a medium coiners and like that.
Okay, what else are we going to try to cover?
And one more important thing, that for free to play and medium coiners or small coiners, you cannot afford on going on a splurge. So we have keep planners like the one that Seer just mentioned, and we plan it ahead before the event starts so that we can get the most out of it and capitalize on it. So you have to be considerate on how you're utilizing those. Our next point is lateral growth and team building.
Did you say lateral growth and team building?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's a topic most teams cover anyway. So we're not going to be any different than most teams. To be honest, what we do, we read a lot of reports. We try to learn from those reports, and we try to change it. And we try something else again and again and again. Some things we're good at learning, some things we obviously aren't. But what we are definitely good at is good at trying, and then reading it again, the reports, and then figuring out from there what do we think we need to improve. We do have a few people that love to do that, and I think that's Seer, me, Barb, who's also a new guy in the team, and Giovanni, who's also as well a new person in the team, and Easy, and and KJ. So 6 of us, we do kind of talk a lot about reports and what we read and what we see and whether that's something we understand. And then obviously I go and ask Wonky, which is what I assume most people do anyway.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a complex game. It's a complex game, very complex. If there's no spreadsheets and a lot of people frying their brains out, you're it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Lately, I have the opportunity to also ask Rez, but I'm never sure if he trolls me or not. Maybe he trolls me. So yeah, we work on that, but what we also do is, I guess, like most alliances, we have a map with what our people have, like, and don't have. Like, for example, which Senate spot is the next for them, so that if we are winning in a battlefield and we know that this person is playing, we can plan maybe to find a way to give them the next Senate spot. In terms of buffs, all we can do is keep preaching about the obvious things, the bread and butter, because we know that most of our team actually doesn't coin. Our biggest VIP is VIP 20. So you can understand, as a team, we're not really a big coiner team. Uh,
Yeah, because we
yeah,
learned early on that it is important to, enjoy the game and at the same time play it smart. Because if you aren't planned in that way, like for example, Seer has a spreadsheet for us where it is different for the troops that we need, how much resources that will cost, different calculators, and building, how much that is going to cost. So we just, have an idea that this is what we need to have before, and then if there is any event, you all are on C5. You guys know that whenever there's an event, we do an analysis of all the events, and then we see that which event, which packages, which will give the most returns, and then we capitalize on that, and that's how our whole alliance goes forward. So that's in terms of our lateral growth and team building. Our second point is Chalon scorings and assigning roles in battlefields. That is
what was the
easy
next question?
department. Chalon scorings, challenge scoring, and
Well, for challenge for us, I guess we have been at least a pretty consistent team. The first ever challenge, we never made it when it was C4 and we were like 3 months old. But since the second one, we have gone, I think, 3 times seventh, 1 times third, and 2 times now 17th, which is because we came second in that first round of the semis. First, we lost from an OG team, 1, 2, 3, the Neko and Jesse. Shout out to the guys; they're an amazing team. And then last year we lost to Win, who we beat the year before, and a shout out to them too. They played a fantastic game that night.
exactly, it was fun. Also, there have been questions about assigning roles in the battlefield. Now, first of all, how we, make sure that there is participation in battlefields is that we assign people roles. Like there are people in the buildings, there are people who have to start to rally, there are callers who call out targets. Then there are those who are constantly watching the rally screen to call out the rallies on your alliance members, because most of the times you might have some in your alliance which do not call out for reigns or have no idea that they're getting rallied, and they get to know after they are zeroed. So we had to assign people who would just look at the event, the war screen, so that we know that which are the callers. And then, other than that, as there was another question on the language part, we have a player who can't speak English very well, but we kind of incorporated him in the alliance. Like there, every R4 and R3 has a job, right? Whether it's doing the daily destructive attacks for the troop kills, whether it is about doing the alliance duels, which march goes where, we have that. Then we have those who are assigned to do other events like a Nines Carnival and stuff like this. So we have everybody who is assigned one role. So that, and not, we also do battlefield signups on Discord bots, as well as we send in-game messages, for which our other R4 is responsible to gathering the messages so that nobody is left from the battlefield. So the best way to incorporate all your players, whether they speak English or not, is to assign them a role, because when you assign them something, they naturally tend to be more receptive, and they, become a team player with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important when you share responsibility and you achieve things together. Everyone gets really motivated to do more, and it's just more fun.
Yeah.
Our next point is, yes, please go, please go ahead.
No, I was just saying it strengthens also communication between people and in the server and in the alliance, of course. So it's very important that they get jobs. We had people who had no jobs, and then they were really changing attitude once they had a role, and they're very punctual about it. So definitely, it's a good thing. Go on.
Like, for example, there's that event where feast rolls is, there are tables, right? And there are one of our R4 has a responsibility of managing that, opening that, and writing down the coordinates, and then she sends an alliance mail to everybody so that we know where they are. It's simple, not I can say very major roles, but when somebody puts in a little bit of effort, they feel like they're a part of a team, whether they are F2P or small trap keeps. They love being a part of that team, and then they feel included. So that's important. Our next point is Red Wings push with one-on-one counseling with players.
I mean, yeah, even the big players love that part. We spend a lot of time either on calls or on chats. And we do create plans for people. We give them options, we explain to them why, and then we try to work with them. Obviously, sometimes they choose to take a different path. Most of the times we won't have a problem unless they start going down a completely stupid path, because everyone believes they know everything before coming in a team that then faces constantly huge competition, and that's when you realize, shit, I need to improve my defense first, not my secondary archer or ground march, which is one of the things that people that join sometimes they want to switch immediately their wall in percentages and start working on like secondary marches, which it's pointless because they won't have secondary marches after a couple of rallies if they can't defend.
Yeah.
We're facing GOT, we're facing TTC, we're facing the top echelons of Evony all the time. So it's not easy if you cannot defend it.
Exactly. And about the 101 players feedback, what we do is, as I mentioned, that we have particular spreadsheets which are assigned to everybody, right? According to their key bills. And then we specifically, for those who are portal guardians or those who are on building duty, we made sure that they had enough D1s, they had enough flats on them, they had enough research done on them, so that at least they can take solos if not rallies. And with that helped a lot, because there are people who get a kind of overwhelmed when they're doing refines and stuff, because it's a technical game, right? And to be an F2P or a portal guardian or a building player, you need to have those defenses at least where you can take solos. So that was our first uh, target, was to stop bleeding points in battlefields. and that's how we managed one by one. Everybody has their one mentor which they are assigned, and the spreadsheets which they are assigned, so that we can keep track of everyone, specifically the 20 that are signed up in the battlefields, because we cannot afford to lose points that way.
100%.
Okay, next is alliance member placements in all stars.
Um, well, like alliance. Sorry, what?
Alliance members placements in all stars.
Right. So, except from last season, which to be honest, it was still a success, just not the usual success. We typically send between, I would say, yeah, worst case 9 people in all of course, all star levels, between 9 and 15. Most seasons we send between 13 and 14, and in majors, early days we were sending constantly between 7 and 9. But last season it was a little bit brutal because we faced 2 times GOT, once TTC,
Oh
and
God.
once NEO. So it was a little bit of a bloodbath. So we couldn't send the biggest amount. We sent 9, but thankfully, the 9 that we sent all got their dragons and all got also the keep. Some of them, many of them got the keep, and we even had a runner-up in All Stars, Grinch, which was a pretty big surprise, a pretty good surprise. But yeah, we as a team usually send a lot of people in there, but we never really try to win it because we're not coiners. Although, of course, the winner of the AS himself isn't a big coiner, so that's not a big argument anymore, is it? He was a VIP 19 when he won both times. So yeah, similarly, Grinch is VIP 20. So you couldn't expect to win it, but he was pretty close as well. But in terms of the team, we try to push as many as we can in majors, and we try to equip them as much as we can with all the right tools to at least get their dragons and buff up and improve the buffs around the keep. Whether that means helping them understand a little bit their defense, their debuffs, and their speed up situation. Because a lot of people like to use speed ups in every possible battlefield. So we keep them reminding them, keep reminding them to keep them for when they need them. It's like I'm people's consciousness.
We used to have healers who would heal after every, rally and bleed points, and we would get furious. But now we have got it under control. Thank God to Bezo and Easy, and they take care of it. As Easy said, sometimes we have to shout, but we get things done.
Yeah,
Uh,
just a little, just a little. Try harder.
yeah, just
Come
a little. Try harder. Yes, be better, do better. That's our
on, do
motto.
better.
We're like, we believe in you. You cannot heal. It's okay. Keep it for Chalon. Please don't heal. So
Yeah,
yeah.
people are asking how we get heals. Well, you need to kill every Kerberos on the map, and you have to ask your team, pretty please, to not waste heals when not needed. They are precious for the important matchups and for buildings, right? So
Yeah, the 1400 rallies that we do, I think, help us accumulate enough sweets.
yeah,
And there's also a question: how do you choose who to push first from Baby Bear? So as we mentioned earlier, that we have one-on-one counseling with our players, as well as we have their sheets, right, where they fill in their buffs, their debuffs, and whatever work they are doing on the game. So when we decide that, this is a person who will not have to waste a lot of heals, but will still get into, their wings. So that's how we, decide the order. in which we are pushing people for wings so that at least they have those heals or those defenses to make those amount of points that are needed for the wing pushers, the purple and red too. This season we had 3 new purple wings, which were absolutely amazing. One of them is yours too. I
Yay!
got my
Congrats,
purple.
Anya.
Thank you. So I got my purple fairy wings too because finally we made it on this spreadsheet. Doing everything that Easy yells at us. So uh, our another point is setting alliance and server goals.
I mean, in terms of setting goals, I would say that Grinch and Easy and I had a very long conversation years ago around Uno, and I know it sounds crazy, but it was let's go for it. Let's go as big as we can, as much as we can, without outpacing our wallets. And simple as that, it has been to try and win. And when I say win, I'm not winning. I'm not talking about every battle. I'm talking about even try to win Chalons, which of course we haven't, but that doesn't mean that we haven't tried. uh,
And
so as
won't
a team,
stop
we
trying. And won't stop trying. Come on.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah, yeah,
It's good to have a goal and it's good to progress towards that goal. That's very important.
absolutely, absolutely. And a couple of times we actually thought we could win, but then there's a lot of extremely good teams in our continent.
Yeah.
Some of the best teams actually in the whole of Evony are in our continent. I can't stress enough about PPK, 123, THE, and a lot of other teams. They are all very, very, very good teams. So, VLH, they're not making it easy for us to actually achieve that goal, but it's fun trying. And in terms of other things, we do have a kind of a thing that we pride. We don't really try to conquer a lot of thrones, but when we do, we've only failed twice. So it's one of those things. When we do have a full team, we can play a pretty mean game. And yeah, I guess our goals are to make sure that we don't outpace our wallet while trying to win. But when it comes to battles, we are happy to make mistakes as long as it's mistakes that we are working on also resolving and aren't mistakes that we are turning a blind eye on. So if it's some form of a defense that you made wrong, you want to talk about it. You want to talk about a report that confused you about how did I lose like 10 billion in one rally? And I had a guy in the team who is new to PvP who has a 5 billion T1 trap, pretty solid T1 trap, 5 billion, pretty solid, takes almost any solo. Then the guy sat for 120 million cav rally without rings, and he says to me, "Hey, could you tell me like what I could do to improve my defense?" He goes, I was like, "Yeah, there's only one answer. You can just jump. There's you can't
That
you
always
can't take
works.
those.
100%
You
of
can't
the
take
time.
those. You really can't take those." So yeah, it's one of those things. There's things we can improve. There's things we don't have to improve, and there's things that we shouldn't work on improving ahead of everything else. Um, so I guess that's kind of where I think the team goals are, but maybe for the team and maybe for the server, to be honest, because I don't know why other teams love to shout about mergers. As a team, and I guess I speak on behalf of Easy, but Easy can speak after I finish. Uh, we have said that when you're in a server, you're actually locked with these people. I know that a merger can change it, but until a merger can change it, your only supply of people is that server. So we haven't been seeing the people in the server as enemies. We've been seeing them as potential teammates, future teammates. And that's kind of the norm in our discussions for the most part. And we've been mostly referring to the enemy teams within the server, not as enemies, but as like potentially future Uno people, Uno or whatever the name of the team could be, if the world changes a lot. So it's not different, the plan that we have for us versus the plan that we would like to have for others. We're trying to help them build, they are all mostly no coiners or very low coiners. So we're trying to help them build either ghosting keeps or T1 based keeps, and explain to them, what things to sit for, what things to not sit for, whether then what kind of reinforcement strategies should have with their team. But that's kind of the things that we work with them, trying to develop them and try to give them the ability to get, wings, develop through SVS scores, stuff like that. But that's kind of, I think, but maybe Easy can fill in the gaps.
Yeah, well, there's it's the same thing for the wings that we were talking about. There's always things to improve, and even how we decide which keeps, we keep an eye on everyone and try to help everyone. But we have situations, for instance, when we have people who coined more and have a big power keep that are not ready yet to try for purple or red wings. So they need to work on their defense, and we'll help them with that. And they need to work on battlefield strategy. They cannot take multiple rallies, only the first one. So there's always these things that we keep trying to help people to do properly. And yeah, we try to help everyone. And well, for the merge thing, although people are saying that only a very few percentage of merges go well, I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful. Maybe.
One day, we will get it one day.
Yeah.
Uh, another very important thing, which I believe, is your teammates should know the limitation of their keeps, right? Which rally they can take, which solo they will go positive on. Because when you are playing this kind of game, has been like 2 3 years, and you have sufficient amount of reports to look at. That's what we do after the battlefield, that we look at, that where are we, as I said earlier, where are we bleeding points, right? And then how do we try to overcome them? Now we have trained most of our building players that if there is a rally coming at you, you port, you jump the fuck out of it. You do not take that rally unless you have, everybody in you, and obviously their embassies are not enough. But the most important thing is they now know that they have to jump, right? And with a lot of practice, with a lot of BOCs, BOGs, where we go in with the full team, we have maps assigned for every portal, that which player will be on which portal, and it's their job to defend it, right? And if they need anything, they just tell us that, Cavs to this portal and share the coordinates, or ground to this portal. They don't, litter the chat with the reports which was happening at first. We tried our best to, limit that. And as I said earlier, that we have assigned a role to someone who looks at the war screen, and whenever there is a rally, that person with that job assigned, jump. For example, if it's on Jessa, we're like, Jessa jump, Jessa jump, Jessa jump. So this makes them more confident in their ability, that they can play and outsmart people who are actually rallying them. That is actually also a motivating factor for them to be active during all those 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing with Uno. We were, early days, we were playing 10, 15, 20 minutes battlefields. Then after Grinch got a little bit fat, now we play the full 2 hours. And it's one of those, if you have the game on your phone and if you like to play the game and enjoy the game, I actually prefer playing 2 hours, the full 2 hours, playing the whole time, exchanging rallies, taking defenses, trying to do a port swap randomly, or, trying to figure out ways to make, your troops big on, but just kill a little bit more from the enemy team.
Absolutely. And the most important thing that I believe is if you have rogues on your in your server and stuff, there are always ways to mend them, to negotiate with them, because otherwise it's just too tiring for you to deal with them in the WC. We just ignore those pests and just uh, be inclusive of it's important, because sometimes when we are talking on a phone game, that kind of interaction is different, but when you are on a voice call, that let's hop on a voice call and let's solve whatever your if, whatever you're feeling, and let's work towards a server that is united, and that we don't want any sort of that sort of grievances. So that adds a very humanly factor, and that's why we have a very cohesive server.
I think we do, yeah.
Okay, so I think we have been done to all our points. Let's do the questions. If you have any questions, please ask here in the chat. And if you want to speak, please raise your hands so that we can bring you up on stage. Also, Seer, we were noting all the questions somewhere. Okay, there's a question: how to control Battlefield sign-up power on a younger consolidated server? Using an alt alliance leads to too many lost rallies, but everyone wants to play on the main alliance.
Yeah, well, we're not experts on that. A lot of times this idea came, we've never tried it, so we don't really know. That's what I said also. We just know how to play with the team, whether that means losing. Sometimes it is what it is. But as long as we kind of start learning each other's steps, and people who came from a couch now trying to say challenge champions or challenge top four and challenge whatever or AS champion, all of that stuff are basically nonsense. For if you remove yourself a little bit from the game, zoom out, and you see that we're talking about something so impressive within the rails of the game, but when it comes to the reality, just a game.
Also, if you are a server mama who is trying to arrange everything and anything, you should consider moving, because it's not a single game player. It's a team. It's a team player. It's a team player game, all in all. There's another question: for alliances that are not as strong in sign up power or buff power or both. Seems like there's this wing factory strategy some alliance use to get folks to majors or top 200. Any advices on that type of strategy or others?
Sorry, I didn't hear half the question. Apologies.
Okay, he's asking if there is a strategy for the purple and red wings if your alliance did not have that sort of sign up power or buff power.
Oh, well, we're not experts, but I guess what we've been hearing a lot of people do is have a big enough keep and a decent enough sign up, and then they play solo and try to win it and score enough. But to be honest, we've never really tried that in Uno. I know that a lot of other alliances did it, and I hate I hate for 2 seasons THE doing it, and we kept facing that alliance. Then in challenge, we took 0 points, but it's all fair. Oak, yeah, Oak, that was the name. Correct, Rez. A lot of other people do it, and a lot of people either do it successfully. We've never really tried it. I can't argue with the results. It does have results, and we've seen them. It's just that we've never really set it up to do it.
And we have been being able to always get 2 or 3 new wings every season. So if people talk and plan, we are able to achieve that in our alliance. But I can see the point where if you're in a server that that's your only choice, maybe you can try to do that. But it will be harder and harder. And if you're in a server that you need to do things alone, maybe you're in the wrong server and the wrong alliance. You should look for somewhere else to go and have fun.
Exactly. This game is supposed to be fun. You download a game to have fun. You do not download it to have extra work. So if you're putting in extra work and it's not fun with your alliance mates or your server mates, so it's better to switch. Okay, there's a question for SBS. A lot of small keeps that are free to play are asking for everyone to sit out so that they can get top 5, even losing SVS. Opinion.
Okay, so I am probably the one with a strong opinion on this one. I usually say to people that they have to remember that whether I spend a lot of money or I don't spend any money, I still have the right to play the game. And when people try to force this with guilt trapping, that's not good. I don't agree with it. I would agree if people sit on the table and agree a strategy around this and say, hey guys, as part of the developing of our team, getting Thieves or getting Norway or getting all of that stuff is important. What can we do to allow you to also still have fun in the game while also try to achieve that goal? And in many times we've negotiated with the enemy server, and we did have wingless, completely wingless weekends. But in those wingless weekends, we did agree with the guys that they should try to hit like 4 billion scores for minimum, or 3 billion scores, whatever it was. I don't remember. This way, the winning team, whichever the team that was, could at least towards the end of the SVS try and play for the 2 billion points for the Senates. And they could also, play here and there with some other winged player in an agreement. So in those kind of situations, that's fine, because you do have still the ability to achieve some goals and play. And this is the kind of weekends that you go through your 14 million of wheel chips. But I hate guilt trapping. I absolutely hate it. And I also hate the fact that, you do make that kind of agreement, and then, people on the other end, something wrong happens and they start completely bombarding you with like a lot of shit that you shouldn't have to deal with. This is a game. This shouldn't be a gift. You should be able to fight for it. I'm trying to help you. Something happened. It didn't happen. It's okay. We'll try it another time. There's no reason for all the toxicity that sometimes comes with it. So that's the only reason why I hate it. But under the right circumstances, I'm all for it. And we've tried it many times in 1096 before. The most recent one was what, 4 SVS ago, I think, 5 with DST, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
DST.
yeah, they were
Nice.
amazing. Great support. So these guys were also on the same page. They didn't like the guilt trapping. They just wanted a very, very arranged way to just have their smaller kips be developed.
And also, I'd like to add to what Beso said, as we have one-to-one counseling with, keep building stuff. So we try to promote those people who we know can take defenses and will not go heck ton negative on the SVS point exchanges. And when we did the wingless weekend, it was the rules of that will have already been shared in the C5 library. If you guys want, you can have a look on it. But only those who did not have wings played that battlefield for the first day, the SVS. And after they were, they were around 3 billion ish. That's when the wing players started playing, and we had our fun. But we tried to have enough wings so that we can play other coming SVS, because the throne queue will keep on going, so that we can have the other SVS as we wanted, whether they were conquered, whether they were slow SVSs. We didn't have problem after that, and we still have a throne list going.
Yes.
Okay, nothing too fancy is saying. My issue is I poured my heart and soul into my keep. Making the decision to leave that behind is rough.
To be honest, and I'll say this however many times I can.
Get over it.
There is, I think, actually the right person to speak about this, maybe Grinch, who has now changed what this is his third keep, and he has done all the right decisions in changing keeps, even within the same team, but let alone to actually go to a better team. So, Grinch, do you want to cover it?
I was just gonna say the first time's the hardest. After that, you just kind of get used to it. I mean, it scared the shit out of me the first time I did it. I felt the same way. I was like, man, I put so much time, money, and energy into this thing, but you get for a fraction of what it would cost you to develop a keep, you can buy a better one, I guess is the best way to put it. And so if you want to accelerate your growth, like leapfrog it, that's the only way to really do that. And then at that point, you can make a decision about what server I want to sit on and who I want to play with for the next year or two or whatever you're in for. But I think you just always need to be ready to switch keeps if you need to. I mean, a lot of players play multiple keeps, right? I mean, I totally get the emotional attachment, but you'll get over it, especially when you get into a bigger keep and you're like, holy crap, this is great. I don't have to do all this other stuff. It's already done. So.
Exactly. Bodhi is asking about the organizing spreadsheets. Bodhi, we have them in the C5 library because Seer manages that, and we don't gatekeep. Girl, we don't gatekeep at all. We share everything that we do, and we hope that others do it too as well. As about the summoning schedules, we have spreadsheets on that too, and we have schedules, when we can summon from the rally card. We even have timings designated for summoning the Garuda, and Seer does them. Seer loves killing Garudas. But it is fun in this way. We get coordinated with all the monsters, and as we are already running 1.2k rallies plus, so we kind of manage it that way in a cycle. Okay,
There are
any more questions?
there's hands up on you, I think.
Okay, let me see.
Garrett's had her hand up for like an hour, and then
Okay, Tierra. That's Sierra, and there is Bat and Dave. Okay, I think I accepted your request.
you may have forgotten her question by now.
I was just saying hello.
Hello, Sierra. How are you?
Hey,
Good, how are you?
hello.
Hello, guys. How are you going? I just have one thought about when people are asking about the Red Wings, if you're in a smaller alliance. What we have done, which has been extremely successful for us, is that we've just gone to a smaller alliance with one big, one mid-sized person, if that's the one that you're pushing the wings for, and then a couple of alts. And then that mid-size keep, like say 4 or 5B, and then a 10B. So you try and keep it under 16B, 17B, that kind of range, and with your alts. And then that mid-size keep runs the rallies and uses the buffs of the larger keep to push them through. Because some of these guys, like you try to do it as a team, and it's just way too much power and too confusing. It's like herding cats, to be honest with you. So,
Right, exactly.
I,
And
I thought you were talking. What was the question to me? Sorry.
No, I was just saying about the key, going for red wings and not having a big enough alliance to push somebody through. You go to a smaller alliance with one of your bigs and a mid-sized keep, and keep your power at around 16B, 17B with a couple of alts, and then that mid-sized keep runs the rallies, and the big keep joins, and their buffs will carry them through for the points.
Right. Well, we have no experience in that. So I hate talking about things I'm not good at, or I have no experience in that. I can't argue with the results though. So we've seen a lot of people do it, and in fact, one of people in our team before,
Right.
like long time, D, he did it, and he was ruthless at it. He would basically qualify into majors with 2 rounds even, and then he'd
Yep.
come back to one for the rallies. But as a team, we've never actually organized this for anyone. We also had a recent player who did try this, Kayoko. I'm not she succeeded, but she definitely tried. But without us getting involved, basically, she said, "Don't worry, I have a friend who knows what to do, and I'll do it." So she wanted to do it that way because, coming into the Uno battlefield does mean that you may not be super lucky if you're the chosen first rally of GOT or TTC. You may not last the battlefield.
Right. Right. You guys are much bigger alliance. You can carry people through. I'm just talking about people that don't have that kind of power to carry someone through.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
definitely try, Sierra, but what I think will happen is this strategy will work for a while. But have you seen how the top 200 scores have gone
Yes, they have.
kind
Yeah.
of
On our,
insane?
we're on
Insane.
C5.
Yeah. So it might
Yeah.
work. It might have worked. It certainly worked last this last Ultimate season and qualifies. Maybe it will work the next one, but I don't think this strategy will work for much longer because the top 200 will keep going up and up and up, and
Yep.
there's only so much you can achieve with one big keep and army of alts, right? So you
Right.
won't
Well,
be
I'm
able to
hoping
do
that this will be a good one because I'm doing exactly that
it.
for this one coming up. So I hope it works.
Yeah,
But that's how
I'm
a lot
cheering.
of us.
I'm cheering for
That's
you,
how a
but
lot of us.
there's always a keep for you, and you know, right?
I
yeah.
know. Thank you, love.
So
Good luck.
Athena has a question. She says, "What do you do when the other alliance sets and sends within 20 to 30 seconds in speed to your spawned monsters?"
Oh, I hate that.
You first try to talk sense to them, and if they don't, unfortunately, there's not many options that you have available to you, right? Realistically, that's the reason why we had to burn the alliance that we did burn and started the civil war ourselves. It was because they were basically they decided that in order to compete with us in bossing, they had to basically play that way. So they would send early, and they would also speed to the boss. Typically, and this is common sense for most servers in all of Evony, if you have to use your march speeds for bossing, that means you won't have them for PvP. And that that's going to frustrate every possible PvP player, every possible team. So that becomes then a battle of inventory, and that's not something you want to do, because if you're going to waste your inventory in bossing, you're basically going to have no inventory to cover your PvP needs. So what's the fucking point in just hitting the rallies and the curbs and the emirs if you don't have the gems? Because if you're going to be using, I don't know, a million gems a day to send 1,000 rallies, that's kind of going to make a big hole in your inventory. So speeding the bossing marches or sending them early is a no-go. Whoever does that, they're basically aware of what they're doing. And to be honest, the underlying understanding and mutual understanding of whoever does it to whomever they do it to should be that they're also trying to inside a war. Like there's nothing else that you are doing when you're doing this. You're not trying to just get bosses. You're actually trying to annoy somebody and have a war with them. And all you're doing, because you're a pussy, sorry for the language, is you're doing it that way instead of just straight out war. Just fucking have some common sense and speak with them before you do that. But you're basically out of options if you go down that route.
That's exactly what happened on our server and still going on.
Yeah. Sorry, but that's the truth. If you're going to be
You're
using
right.
speed ups, that means I will have to be using speed ups. And if I'm going to be using speed ups and I don't have them for SVS or for Battlefield, we're not going to be friends.
Exactly. Also, I would like to add one more thing here. Uh, is recruiting. We have a K45, 44, and a 42 for those if you guys want to big friends or, if you are looking to change your servers. And if you guys are interested, you can reach out to me or anybody here on the panel. We love having new people fill with us. We have actually our Discord is like, how do you call it? It's like a bus. It's a lot of people who aren't even in our alliance. So we love having, people and, having a good time and, sharing stuff with them, how we manage stuff. So we are recruiting. If anybody is interested, please reach out to us. And okay, we have a speaker. Hello.
So what kits do you have available?
Hello, Viper. How are you?
Hello.
You
Hey, man.
you're
Thanks
too
for
poor
No
that.
for
one,
us, Viper.
no one ever asked me to be no one ever asked to recruit me. What kits do you have available?
Oh, liar, pencil fire.
Is this Viper?
Yeah.
Very good, man.
Uh,
Yeah,
Viper, you can have
I
my
agree.
key.
Uno is
You
like Uno is like the coolest people I have. I know Anya very closely. I know Easy and of course Malaka. How do you say Malaka? Malaka means Malaka means pervert in Greek, and Beso is like very happy when he is gets called a pervert. So if you just want to speak in English, you can call him a pervert anyway. So yeah, it's like a great team, and I think like 2 or 3 more people, and then they can be like definitely in contention for Chalon's win. Chalon's is coming up. Definitely a great time to join the team.
We're not gonna stop trying, man. We're not gonna stop trying.
Also, Viper, if you want to be recruited, we would love to recruit you. You can have my key for
You
that.
just
Any
no money, no money. Just see in
you,
GK Discord. I took a loan for the first keep. Can't pay it. No money.
you just announced yourself publicly here. You know that, you're
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now we
we
have to
come
get
to
out of that.
Professor.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Oh yeah, but for everyone, like Uno's like the best of people. Definitely a fun team to join. All right, guys, have
Thanks,
fun. I
man.
just drop off
Thank
from stage.
you.
Thanks
He
for
Thank
got
coming
you.
money
by.
for
Thank
saying that. He got money for saying that.
I'll
you.
say that then. You're the
We
best
are not
people ever.
paying him.
Was
We're
Viper
not paying
really?
him for advertisement.
Thanks, Viper.
Okay, so I think we have answered all the questions, and
Hey,
I
can you move me out from the stage, please, Anya? I
yes,
can't
yes,
figure
I
it
will.
out.
Okay, I will. I will. Thank you, Viper. I think we will end this now. It's been like more than an hour, and we are just, I hope you guys had a good time and you guys got good points to learn. and take it back to your alliances. This will also be recorded. Zunton is recording it, so once the recording is up, I'll share if you want to share this with your alliance members. And if you have any queries, you can always reach out to us. Thank you so much, guys, and we will wrap it. Oh my God, those are so many cerebus checks. Yeah, Bodhi, you. Okay, fine. I won't say anything. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Anya, for organizing this, and thanks everyone for
Yeah,
joining.
thanks, Anya.
Yeah,
Post
thank
post
you
the
Good.
guys.
ads,
It was
Anya.
great.
Post
It
the
was
ads
really
for
good.
the chat here, and if you wanna know Uno and join us, the ads will be there, and you can talk to everyone here. Thank you.
Yes, and bring your team too. We will love to have more people. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye bye.